Aperture, and I'm part of our seller success team here at Amazon South Africa, and it's absolutely fantastic to have you all here. If this is your first webinar, welcome. Fantastic to have you here. Don't worry about anything. We're going to be going through a couple of our house rules in a second. If you've been here before, welcome back. I hope you're enjoying the series of webinars and learning with us today. And today we actually have something really specially prepared for you. We have invited two of our fantastic service providers from our service provider network to come and talk a little bit about the services that they are offering. But let's not jump into it a little bit too far. Let's go over those house rules. And the first thing that I want to tell you is you don't have to worry about anything at all today. Your microphone and your camera is automatically set to off, so there's no chance for you accidentally jumping on the call, whether you're at home, whether you're at work, whether you're commuting here in South Africa or based internationally. You are perfectly comfortable in this room, no stress at all. You don't have to worry if you need to jump off at any stage during today's presentation. A version of today's webinar will be hosted on our Sell on Amazon ZA page on YouTube. The link down in the chat below me. At the bottom here. Also, by the end of this presentation, we'll also be dropping a couple of PDF versions of all of the presentations that you're going to be seeing today. So don't stress if you're going to miss out on anything. We will send you home or send to you some of the information that you're seeing here today. And then, of course, we want to engage with you in today's webinar. So definitely drop your questions down in the chat throughout the presentation, whether it is based on what our providers will be showing you today, or whether there's something that's Amazon specific and you have this burning question and you really want to ask. Please feel free. This is the platform and the environment for you to ask these questions to us. If you need any further help over and above what our service providers are offering today, you are welcome to go and take a look at the rest of our network here with excellent providers that we have, both based locally and internationally, for whatever help you need with selling on Amazon. And of course, the learning does not stop here. Hi, good morning. I see a couple of chats already going off there. You can join our Seller University, or you can visit Seller University on your Seller Central account. You can register for upcoming webinars where we'll remind you, I think the day before and on the day, hey, you registered for this webinar, so that you don't miss out on any of the content. And yeah, other than that, I think what I'd like to do before I introduce these two people that are on the screen here, let's keep that anticipation going. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the tools and incentives that maybe you might not be aware of that we have here at Amazon for your disposal. So these are a couple of key incentives that we want to highlight for you that are going to help boost your performance and your profitability. Before we dive into any of those, or at least one of the most important tools that you're going to be utilizing is Seller University that I just mentioned now when we were going over the house rules, right? And this is your go-to learning resource for everything about selling on Amazon.co.za. You'll find comprehensive guides, video tutorials, and step-by-step instructions on topics like listing products, managing your inventory, understanding your fees, and optimizing your account. So whether you are brand new to Amazon or looking to level up your skills, Seller University has resources tailored to your needs. You can access it anytime at sellercentral.amazon.co.za/learn. And we also host regular webinars just like this one that you can register, like I mentioned before, link down in the chat. For those of you that are based here in Cape Town, or at least in South Africa, we do have the option for you to get in-person support at our Seller Success Center here in Cape Town. And this isn't just a building, it's your partner in growing your Amazon business. So whether you need help setting up your account, improving your product listings, or building your brand store, our team is here to support you. And while we love seeing everybody in person, it is winter, so over and above that, maybe you're not based in Cape Town. We do also offer virtual sessions for sellers across South Africa. You only have to book a slot online and we'll connect through to you. This is a really great resource available to all sellers. But it doesn't stop there. Another tool we have for those that are needing assistance is API integration. And for those of you that didn't know what API was, like me when I started out, an API, or application programming interface, is a set of rules that allow two pieces of systems to communicate with each other. And the benefits of this: basically, API-based applications can save sellers time by automating your prices, stock, and quantity across channels instead of manually uploading. So API helps automate a lot of those manual processes. And if you're interested in using any of our current API-based applications, all you need to do is visit the Seller Partner App Store within Seller Central, where you can choose from over 2,500 applications in different categories like product listing that we mentioned, inventory, and shipping and marketing. We have a fantastic relationship with Purdue Attorneys for intellectual property acceleration, or IP accelerators. So if you are looking to protect your brand with a trademark, this program connects you with pre-vetted legal experts who can help you file at competitive rates. And the best part of this is you can access brand registry benefits while your trademark application is still pending. No need to wait the 2 years for you to get that actual certificate. You can actually apply for brand registry with a pending trademark certificate, which means faster brand protection than traditional channels. If you want a little bit more information, all of these links are available on our Seller Central landing pages, but there's a nice little QR code here on the screen for you, just in case you want to snap it and save that bookmark. And then we have a lot of fantastic incentives and discounts that are currently running until the 31st of March 2027. So with regards to your fulfillment fees, we do have free FBA storage fulfillment by Amazon. That includes the removals, picking, and packing. Of course, on the top there, you're seeing something really quite lovely. We have extended that subscription fee for the professional account to the 31st of March next year. So it's remaining at that R1 per month versus the 460 including VAT that you would pay under normal conditions. So if you haven't got a professional selling account yet, why not try it out, upgrade your account, pay that R1 per month, and get access to all of those tools that are included in having a professional account. We also do have an inbounding promotion where you can get 90% of all inbounded shipments to our fulfillment centers via the 2Ship partnered carrier program. And this is valid until the 31st of December this year. And what does this mean for your business? You will get savings that will give you an opportunity to reinvest in your inventory and stock up on your best sellers. You can expand your product range and reach more customers. And most importantly, grow your business without the usual cost barriers. So please make the most of these discounts while they last. But topic at hand, the service provider network. What is it? Simply put, this is your gateway to expert support on Amazon. We've built a network of vetted, trusted third-party professionals who specialize in helping sellers succeed on Amazon. And these just aren't any service providers. They are pre-vetted experts with proven track records across more than 14 different service categories, from cataloging and account management to advertising, imaging, FBA preparation, compliance, and tax services. And the beauty of SPN is that it allows you to access specialized expertise so you can focus on what you do best, running your business, while the experts handle the technical aspects of selling on Amazon. And before we get to our two experts that we have here today, one little thing that I'd like to bring to your attention, just in case you aren't aware, is our free listing initiative through the service provider network. And this is where it gets exciting. Through this free listing initiative, you can get between 10 to 100 products listed professionally at absolutely no cost to you. This is 100% Amazon subsidized support that includes professional cataloging with engaging titles and descriptions, expert listing setup and optimization, keyword supports, and Amazon listing compliance assistance. We do have 3 authorized service providers participating in this initiative. That would be CSM Online, Code and Copy, and Started Up Global. And today, you can also see there's a little QR code that should take you to the landing page where you can get in touch with them. But I digress. We are moving on to our providers that I'd love to introduce to you here today. If you are experiencing any errors loading in the screen that you have here, please see if you're either able to refresh your browser that you are currently watching this webinar in, or alternatively, see if you're able to switch to a different browser. We recommend utilizing Chrome as opposed to Firefox. Getting back on track. Today, I have Mayon from the E-commerce Council and Kimberly here from ZuwaZenith that are going to be presenting here for you today. Without further ado, I'm going to hand over to our first provider, E-commerce Council, just to take you through a little bit of what they do, who they are, and how you can benefit from their excellent expertise. So please, Mayon, take it away.
Hi guys, good morning everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you so much, Sasha, for inviting us to participate. It's always great working with Amazon. So my name is Mayon. I'm the CEO of E-commerce Council. We're a Cape Town-based agency, and we help established brands win on Amazon. As well as being an Amazon-approved service provider, we are also an Amazon Ads Verified partner, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. We specialize in working with known brands and distributors of leading consumer products, businesses that have real catalog depth, real brand equity, and real ambition for the channel. That's our sweet spot, and it's where we do our best work. We've been operating since before Amazon SA launched, so we've grown with this platform from day one. We know what works here specifically, and not just what worked in the UK 2, 3, or 4 years ago. Here's something worth mentioning out loud, because it shapes everything else. We've watched Amazon play out in the UK, Australia, Germany, the USA, and various other markets. The trajectory is remarkably consistent. Infrastructure builds, prime launches, categories deepen, and the platform starts to dominate. In fact, in the UK, once Amazon started a serious infrastructural push, they grew from 5% market share to 30% market share in just 5 years. Amazon Australia is another useful reference point. It's roughly 7 years old now, and the benefits for sellers have become significant. The brands that moved early are compounding returns that latecomers simply can't replicate. If you go to the US, UK, or German market today and you ask any established brand that's operating with any success on Amazon, what would you do differently if you were starting again? Without fail, all of them would say, I wish I had started sooner, when the window was still open. South Africa is following the same formula. Amazon SA launched in May 2024. Prime is coming, the ads ecosystem is maturing. Category competition right now is thin. We know with a reasonable degree of confidence where this goes, and we know that it will only get more competitive for brands. The window is open. The question is, what do you do with it? When a brand comes to us, we take on the full scope of the Amazon presence. Let me walk you through what that means in practice. Phase 1 is setup. This includes account registration, brand registry, catalog strategy, listing creation, keyword research, copywriting, imagery compliance, A+ content, brand stores, and various other services as well. For larger catalogs, we phase the rollout, prioritizing your highest volume and highest margin SKUs first. So you're generating revenue while the broader catalog comes online. Every listing on Amazon is doing 2 jobs simultaneously. It's A, a product page, and B, a search result. Getting that balance right from the start determines how your listings rank and how they convert. The algorithm remembers everything, and we do not cut corners here. Something also to note on the algorithm is that your organic ranking, to a large extent, is based on your sales history and velocity, which means you have to start driving sales as quickly as possible, because the Amazon algorithm looks at up to 18 months of data when deciding which products to return in the organic search results. Therefore, what this all means is do not ignore advertising in your strategy. You can certainly start slowly with fewer SKUs, with a focused approach, and build your catalog slowly, but you can't use that approach when it comes to advertising. You have to spend as much as you can, as soon as you can, to drive initial sales, reviews, and ratings. Strategically, something very important to remember, when it comes to advertising, you have to start big. We'll discuss advertising a little bit more in just a moment. Phase 2 is ongoing management. A dedicated key account manager at ECommerce Counsel handles your seller central account on a day-to-day basis. This includes listing maintenance through an ongoing audit and fix process, listing optimization to keep up to date with algorithm changes and shifts in bestseller rankings, case management with Amazon, buy box monitoring, price and competitor intelligence, review monitoring, fulfillment coordination, and inventory health. On that note, inventory is critical. If you attended the SPN Seller Summit at Amazon last month, you will have heard the message over and over again. When you run out of stock, your rankings drop, your sales decline, your margin evaporates. And this leaves customers with no choice but to buy your competitor's product. Long story short, you must keep enough inventory on hand. We can chat through how to navigate this for your business specifically in a one-on-one strategy session. Cara will send the details at the end of the webinar. On advertising, we run the full suite: sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored display, and various promotional opportunities. All of this optimized weekly. The goal isn't just paid sales. It's using advertising to build organic rank, which compounds over time and reduces your cost of acquisition as your account matures. Everything is reported monthly with clear, actionable commentary. And in addition, we run strategy reviews on a regular basis, so you always know where you stand. Something we found consistently across the accounts we take on is that there are almost always 3 wins available from the outset, and we go after these immediately. The first is recovering money Amazon might owe you. System errors happen on both sides, from Amazon and the seller side. The system can sometimes overcharge, make inventory errors, or issue short payments, and a lot of sellers often miss this. We audit these and raise disputes to get that money back. For established accounts, this often runs into significant amounts of money. The second win is stopping wasted ad spend. Most accounts we inherit have significant spend going to irrelevant search, poorly structured campaigns, and missed targeting opportunities. We redirect that spend immediately. Same budget, but better results from day one. The third quick win is listing improvements. This is title structure, keyword indexing, main image compliance, A+ content gaps. Small changes here drive measurable lifts in organic rank and conversion rate, sometimes within weeks. These 3 wins matter because they demonstrate value early. They fund further investment in the channel, and they show what a properly managed account looks like from the inside. I want to also give you a real example of what this looks like in practice. One of our clients is Tiger Brands, one of South Africa's most recognized FMCG companies with more than 25 heritage brands. I mention them not because they represent the typical seller in this room. In fact, they are actually a vendor, but because the numbers illustrate what a properly managed Amazon account can do when the fundamentals are right. Looking at the 6 months from October 2025 through to the end of March 2026, compared to the prior period, we saw a growth in shipped revenue of 4 times, and that went from 7 figures to 8, which is roughly 300% growth. Orders grew by 290%, which shows that Amazon is building significant market share with South African consumers. On advertising, we achieved a 14.7% ACOS, which is your advertising cost of sales, and that is calculated by dividing your total advertising spend by your advertising sales. ROAS, which is return on advertising spend, of 6.8, which means for every 10 Rand they spent, they got 68 Rand back. TACOS, which is total advertising cost of sales, and that is calculated by dividing your advertising spend over your total sales. Anything under 5% is excellent. And with Tiger Brands, we were able to achieve a TACOS of just 1.3%. That last number tells you advertising isn't just propping up the account, it's amplifying an account that's already working. And a large reason of this is because that the advertising works is because of high quality listings. The disciplines that drove these results, catalog rigor, efficient advertising, consistent account management, apply to every seller on this platform at every size and at every level. We manage multi-millions in sales every month across our portfolio of Amazon vendors and sellers. What makes that possible is the same thing that will make it possible for your brand. getting the foundations right, going after the fast wins early, and then compounding from there. As a thank you for attending today, we're offering every seller here a free 30-minute Amazon strategy call. No obligation, just a focused conversation about your account, your category, and what the realistic opportunity looks like for your brand on Amazon South Africa. We'll tell you exactly what we would do first. Cara will share that booking link in the chat in a while. And just again, I want to say thank you very much for everyone who's attending. And to Amazon, it's a real honor, and to Sasha and team, a real honor to be presenting next to you. Thank you so much.
A few minutes for questions. You can either drop them in the chat or Q&A panel. So there's a couple of questions here about what does it cost. So we work across a few different commercial models. The best starting point is the free strategy call, where we'll give you a real net number based on your specific situation because of the size of businesses. Do we work with small sellers? We work across brand sizes. So the scale of your business and your products will affect the scope and pricing. But the approach we take is the same across all brands and all products. Mayon mentioned 3 fast wins that we routinely find with all of our clients. There will be obviously the fee recovery from any Amazon overcharges, then the stopping of wasted ad spend and redirecting it, and then finally the quick listing improvements on your title structures, keywords, and your imagery. So we go after all 3 from day one. Okay. There's a question about someone selling for thrift clothes. With one-off products, the amount of effort that goes into listing a product, you might want to have more than one of just a product. I see someone says I'm breaking up. I'm speaking into a tunnel.
Let's just do an audio check with everybody in attendance. I guess everybody here can give a little bit of feedback. Can I ask everybody in the chat, if you are having audio or technical issues, just drop the number 1 in the chat. And if everything is okay with you on your side, you're able to see the presentation and hear us okay, please just drop the number 2 in the chat so that we're able to ascertain how much of an issue this is impacting on everybody.
Okay, I've just switched my microphone. Is the sound a little bit better?
Yes, it is better. It looks like this might potentially be an issue on the user side. If it is breaking up and you are joining, and I know that there are a couple of people that are having technical challenges rather, and we did give the advice about the browser. However, if you have tried to change your browsers and you're still having issues, this might be an internet connectivity problem. Please don't stress. Like I mentioned, this webinar will go up on our Salon Amazon YouTube page. We will share this information also with you. And when we get to the section at the end for our group Q&A, all of our presentations will be dropped in the chat as PDF documents for you to download. I was going to drop it as they were presenting, but there's a lot of engagement happening in the chat. So please don't stress at all. We will ensure that if we have the ability to give you the answers or give you information here, we can. And if not, we'll find a way to get you the information that you need to resolve your issues. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you, Sasha. All right. I see there's been a couple of queries from international sellers who are wanting to now get listed in Amazon South Africa, which we can definitely help you with. So our email address is there, hello@ecomcounsel.co.za. Please mention that you attended this call so that we can do a free strat session with you, and we can walk you through the steps of how we can help get you and your established brand onto Amazon South Africa. Just scrolling through the questions here. Okay, I believe that Amazon will be sending this PDF file of the presentation today to you.
Yes, I think what we can
Okay.
even do now, Cara, if you're okay, I'll drop this in the chat because we've come to the end of, I guess, the first specific Q&A session before we go on to our next provider. So let me drop ECommerce Counsel's presentation that we just saw now in the chat for everybody to download before we hand over to our next presenter. But please don't worry, Cara, we'll be back at the end when we're having our group discussion, and we'll go through everything that has happened in the chat to make sure that we've covered all of the questions as best as we can. And if for some reason we haven't covered your question, don't worry, we will give you the tools in which to find the answers that you need. All right, no stress at all. Thank you very much, Cara. We'll see you again a little bit later. And now I'd like to welcome back onto camera, while you are taking some time, everybody, to download this presentation in the chat. Kimberly from ZuwaZenith. Give her a little bit of time also to swap over to her presentation. So don't stress if you are worried that now ECommerce Counsel's presentation has disappeared. It is in the chat below in PDF format. As you can see, while Kimberly is loading, the way that we're responding doesn't necessarily correlate to your answer. So if you feel like we haven't answered your question yet, just and you've scrolled up and down in the chat, please feel free to post it again. But I promise when we get to the Q&A session at the end of today, we will address all questions as best as we possibly can and give you the direction that you need for success. So enough from me for now. I'm going to hand over to Kimberly, and I will see you on the other side of this presentation.
Thank you so much, Sasha. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to introduce myself and ZuwaZenith. My name is Kimberly Munatsi. I am the lead e-commerce specialist for ZuwaZenith. And essentially what we do is we put your products at the heart of our entire Amazon account management for you. So before we get started today, I'd like to strip away all the Amazon jargon and all the e-commerce technicalities and go down to the foundation. At ZuwaZenith, we believe the foundation of a successful Amazon account is essentially your products. It sounds simple, but it is the foundation of everything we do. Your products are what makes a sale, your products are what makes your business scale, and it's essentially how we help you. So, just as an introduction of who we are, we're an Amazon SPN agency, and essentially we take ownership of the entire Amazon lifecycle for you. We understand that you are likely a very busy business owner, that you are dealing with suppliers, couriers, shipments, employees, and I don't have to tell you anymore. I'm sure you know this very, very well. So as a result, we manage your account end to end. And what that means is we do your listings, we position your products and your business, we do advertising for you, we ensure that your account performs, and that we continuously improve, because there's always room for improvement. So going back to the foundations, what we've seen as an Amazon SPN agency working with different sellers is sometimes products go live, but they don't always perform the way that we might anticipate that they might. This may be due to a number of different factors, but we normally look at it at a simple level, which could be 4 things: lack of visibility, value communication, positioning, and fulfillment consistency. So I'd like to use myself as an example and also an imaginary business. So let's say that I am selling water bottles. And if we look at visibility first, let's say I've done an Amazon listing where I've built the listing to say that it's a premium, indestructible blue steel bottle. But this is not aligned with how customers might be searching. Search alignment is very important on Amazon. So my product might be buried many pages deep. Secondly, what we found that might be affecting product performance is value communication. We work within an attention economy. People are busy, they've got things to do, and we only have their attention for so long. So we always encourage our selling partners to communicate their product value clearly and also in a way that customers can understand at first glance. Sometimes people are lazy with reading, so we work with our sellers to ensure that the value is clear and easy to understand. Thirdly is lack of differentiation. So categories can be quite competitive, but it's important that your products are positioned in such a way that customers understand what makes them unique and why they should actually be purchasing from you. And fourthly, and one of the most important parts of performing well on Amazon for your products, is fulfillment consistency. So no one likes to go onto a product page and to see that a product is out of stock, and we ensure that your products are never out of stock as well. So furthermore, looking at it in 4 different ways, oftentimes product performance is affected by search misalignment. The way that we describe our products can be aligned with the branding, but it's important that they're keyword aligned, and also that they're aligned with the way that people are searching so that people find our products and therefore buy our products. Secondly is unclear value. What makes your product unique? What is it about your product that people should be purchasing from it? And that's how we work with you on communicating value. Thirdly is positioning. We want your products to be competitive. We want them to be appealing to customers when it comes to comparing to other competitors. So we ensure positioning is strong. And lastly is consistency in fulfillment performance. The way that your products are stocked is foundational to ensuring that sales are continuous and uninterrupted. So all these 4 things drive performance on Amazon. And what I'd encourage you to do when you look at your product is to ask yourself 4 questions. Each of these questions do form part of that 4-part framework that we've been discussing now, but from the perspective of your competitor or from your customer. Firstly, looking at visibility. If you were to put yourself in the shoes of your customer, ask yourself, can I find my product? If I were to virtually act like a customer right now and simulate a search, is my product findable? Secondly, do I understand this product? Conversion is based on customers understanding your product. When they understand your product, they buy your product and become happy customers. A happy customer turns into a good review and hopefully a brand loyal customer as well. So thirdly is why this product? It's important that your product is positioned in such a way that people understand why they should choose it. And fourthly, can I rely on this? The important thing to understand with selling online is that the customer journey isn't linear. The minute that someone sees your product is not the same minute that they buy your product. People sometimes see your product on the 5th of May. They come back on the 13th of May to try understand conversion. They come back on the 18th of May to ask themselves, why this product? And by the 25th of May, when it's payday, it's important that your product is in stock, available for sale, and hopefully a quick delivery time. So we have happy customers that have your product easily and quickly. And we ensure that at ZuwaZenith, we manage all 4 of these aspects so that your products are positioned well, ready to sell, and that we make happy customers that come back and buy from you again. So in saying all of that, we understand that Amazon is complex. There are many aspects to selling. There's listings, there's shipments, there's suppressions and restrictions, there's different support cases that you're probably handling monthly. But we make it simple. We ensure that your products are optimized and visible. Once they are, we ensure that there's traffic going to your product, that people are able to understand the value and the positioning and why they should choose your products. We are able to ensure that we continuously run advertising, that we refine performance, and of course, that your products are consistently in stock. We never allow your products to go out of stock, because going out of stock is a missed opportunity for a sale. And after doing all of that, we track results, and all of this is guided by strategy. Why choose ZuwaZenith? So at ZuwaZenith, we foundationally believe in providing you with expert support. We put your products at the heart of everything we do, and we ensure that we are transparent with how we communicate with you, we are timely in our response, and we work with a variety of sellers. Whether you're a manufacturer, a retail brand, a brand, or a seller struggling with your listing, we are there for you. But above all that, we believe in providing you with a return on your investment. So this is the real results and measurable growth that we've achieved this year from January to March. Looking at the revenue, we were able to grow this client's account month on month in terms of revenue by 30 to 44%. And going back to the basics of orders and products, we were able to grow their order volume by 116%. Furthermore, we foundationally believe that your products must be visible, that there's traffic going to them, and that customers can see them. So with this client, we were able to grow the sessions, which is essentially how many times people saw their products, by 2 to 5 times, resulting in these products growing monthly sessions by 200 to 400 sessions in a month. So those are the figures of what we do. Lastly, we'd like to look at your product together. So for all of the webinar attendees today, if you'd like us to assist you with looking at visibility, value communication, looking at your positioning, and of course your fulfillment aspects, we are there for you. We want to see for one of your products, we'll discuss this within a 30-minute session, how your product shows up for relevant customer searches. Is your product communicating value at first glance? Are you able to communicate unique selling position this way? And differentiation. How does your product compare and stand out according to category competitors? And lastly is operation. So we'll have a look for that one product. Is it in stock, out of stock? Are you struggling with ensuring stock is consistently on hand? And we'll do this together. So that is what we're offering all webinar attendees. This is only valid until the 3rd of May. So get in touch with us, use the code VCPC23 if you'd like to have a deep dive into one of your products together, and we'll help you out. Thank you so much.
And there you go. Loading is a little bit of an issue there, but thank you very much, Kimberly, for that comprehensive presentation. And as we did in the past for ECommerce Counsel, before we go on to our Q&A section where we'll review all of the questions, you can ask a couple of more questions. Please hang on for a second. I want to drop the ZuwaZenith presentation in the chat for everybody so that you're able to download it, and then give you a little bit of time to just be able to download it on your side. Terribly sorry that there are so many technical difficulties being experienced by everybody. As I'm even trying to upload the attachment, it seems like something is a little bit challenged. I'd like to invite our providers back onto camera for our group discussion, so we can have a sort of forum discussion, go over everything that was addressed in today's presentation. I know that there were a lot of questions in the chat with regarding prices and how to go about doing the things that need to be done. But I think over and above that, what I'd like to do is sort of clarify what the service provider network is. So these two providers that we have here today, ZuwaZenith and ECommerce Counsel, they are not being directly paid for Amazon to do this work for you. These are in the same way that you would hire a contractor or anybody else that would be doing service delivery. You would be able to reach out to any one of our providers to hire them for their services. And there are different approaches that you can take depending on what the service requirements that you need, right? If you need something that's sort of, oh yes, please do reshare your codes and your incentives for joining, please guys, or the incentives that you're giving to any of the attendees for today's webinar. So when you're reaching out to a provider, right, if you're wanting once-off assistance, like, hey, please just set up my account, help me register, make sure everything is flowing, do the listings or whatever, you can do a once-off fee. So you're only going to pay them for that particular service. If you're wanting assistance over and above that, or over an extended period of time, then you're able to enter into a subscription service with any of our providers. But in terms of the costs that are incurred for whatever that is, that's entirely between you and the provider. We as Amazon don't get involved in any sort of money exchange or the conversation that relates to how much you're going to pay. Our providers are all excellent, and they have offered their pricing on our service provider network with the understanding or in order to help you grow, it has already been, I don't want to say discounted, but some sort of discount or a trade exchange or something that is going to benefit you has already been calculated into that cost. However, all sellers are different and all sellers need different kinds of help, which is why those consultations or reaching out to the service provider to say, hey, my name is Sasha, I am selling books. I'm selling 3 books as opposed to 30,000 books. Maybe the costs that are going to be incurred by me personally are going to be different versus a seller with a different kind of catalog, a different size of product. And then over and above that, what are the requirements that your products need, right? Do you need a brand registry? So does that need trademarking? Does the packaging need work? Are you going to do these things yourself and say, I've got a cousin, uncle, brother that can sort out my packaging according to Amazon stipulations, or I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Please, can you as the service provider help me out? So don't feel like we were trying to avoid the question of pricing. It's a difficult thing to say in this kind of forum because obviously every one of you is unique. You're more than welcome to also go and take a look at their detailed page for their listing to see what their breakdown is. And these 2 providers exist in multiple categories. So if you need account end-to-end service support, you can go under account management. But if you need cataloging specifically or enhanced brand content, then you're able to do that in that regard. Before we get to the Q&A, there's one other thing that I'd like to drop in the chat here that I saw coming through quite a lot, because it seems like a few of you need some support with regards to getting set up on Amazon. And so what I'm going to drop here in the chat is our beginner's guide to selling on Amazon. And I will include also the link to that Seller Central landing page where this comes from, so that you're able to learn how to register as a seller. And basically all of these pages are your best bet in terms of getting set up. When you get into your Seller Central account, the search bar at the top is going to be your best friend. There you can put in keywords, ask your questions, any sort of error codes, and of course, selling partner support, right? Our providers here would also be able to help you with that guidance on your Seller Central account. So if you're working with ECommerce Counsel and there are a couple of issues on the account, they would be able to file a support ticket on your behalf because of the permissions granted to them through the service provider network to action on your account. Right? So that's everything, or more or less, that's in the chat. I'm just going to drop the tools and incentives PDF also as well that we mentioned at the beginning. And while we're doing that, I'm going to ask our fantastic moderation team if you could please put the survey up on the screen for all of the attendees so that we can ask you for a little bit of feedback on today's presentation and your experience and whether or not you found it useful. You also will have a little section if you've had any technological challenges to also input your information in there as well. So please feel free, and we encourage you to give us this information. This goes directly to our Seller Success team, and it helps us understand whether what we're doing is helping you, and if not, it gives us the guidance as to how to make things better. What would have probably happened now is all of our faces might have disappeared or moved over to the side. Thank you very much, Kelly, our fantastic moderator that's come here to support us. So, guys, apart from the fact that this is sort of the first combined webinar that we've all done together as the 3 of us as Amazon, and then of course you as our 2 service providers as part of our network. And let's address ECommerce Counsel first, or ask the ECommerce Counsel team. In your experience working with large brands, because you mentioned you work with Tiger brands also as well as part of your presentation, what do you feel like would be the biggest blocker or challenge that a new seller that might have a smaller catalog or not as much, exposure as the bigger brands have when starting on Amazon, specifically with the South African market?
Thanks for the question, Sasha. I think that's one of the things we've noticed very clearly with every single seller is the ability to have enough inventory available. Just like Kimberly mentioned quite a few times, that one of the key things that ZuwaZenith and us look out for is to make sure you have enough inventory. But there's something underneath that is critical as well, is do you have enough cash flow to have enough inventory? So my suggestion would be that when figuring out your journey on Amazon, just understand that where possible, you need to have some funding available to make sure that you have enough inventory. One of the and the key thing is that if you, as Kimberly said, if a shopper comes and finds something out of stock, it's not a good thing. It's not. In addition, it's not good for Amazon or the seller, because it does affect your rankings. So the knowledge gap that might exist when you're really starting out, I honestly believe that Amazon's tools that you provide and the Seller University is outstanding. And if you go through it meticulously, I really believe that you get a really good foundation and a basis there, which also gives you the ability to know how to speak to service providers and know what to look for, and to understand what they're offering versus what you might be able to do yourself. So in short, or maybe a bit long, that's my answer.
No, it's fantastic, and it paints that right kind of picture that some people might not be aware of because they haven't yet been exposed to these sort of mechanisms that exist in e-commerce, and especially as it relates to the South African market when we look at it holistically. Then Kimberly, from your side, what would you feel? Because there's been a lot of talk about the importance of the tools and the education, and an excellent shout out in terms of the quality of the education that we give in Seller University. Are there any sort of gaps or pitfalls that you see that maybe somebody entering into Amazon for the first time might get discouraged at? And if so, how do you as ZuwaZenith combat that and sort of remove that onboarding or registration friction?
Okay. It's a very good question. I think when I explained Amazon is complex and we make it simple, it is something we've witnessed with many sellers. It's a new thing for everyone who logs on to Amazon for the very first time. There's so many aspects to learn. And yes, there is Seller University, and there are so many videos, hundreds, I haven't counted, but many, many videos to assist you. But I think it's important to take the time to understand. Even when we are managing your account on your behalf, we want you to understand in the same way we understand, so that you have complete oversight in such a way that you are educated in the way that we are managing your account. So we take time with you. If it means that we need to set up a session together to go through Amazon FBA step by step for the next 2 hours, we'll do it together, because your understanding helps your business grow and helps us grow with you. So we foundationally believe in education being the starting of selling. We can't sell if you don't understand Amazon, if you don't understand the process. We work with you. We don't want to work against you or outside of you. So yes, there are gaps, but that's filled with us learning together. So that's how we work.
Fantastic. Growing pains is what we like to call it internally. But obviously, if it's consistent, it's not so much growing as it is like just unnecessary friction. I do see that we have a couple of questions that are in the chat that I'm just going to throw at you, because you are subject matter experts in your field, and where you aren't able to go to the end, I almost want to say, I promise I'll jump in terms of from an Amazon perspective. So the first question is from Nomatemba. Can I use suppliers that are out of South Africa for my Amazon shop? I didn't direct it to anybody, I realized. I guess I was waiting for someone to be like, yes, I'll take that one.
Yes, the short answer is yes, you can. The question is, in terms of, do you have a warehouse? Are you going to import stuff from the East, let's say, as an example, and warehouse it yourselves? Or are you trying to figure out a way to ship from the East directly into FBA? There are ways that you can do both of those. It just requires a little bit of investigation, and we can also assist you with that if necessary, as I'm sure ZuwaZenith can too.
Fantastic. And I know you both have actually worked a lot with both branded sellers and resellers and generic. So in this question, in terms of suppliers that are outside of South Africa, what advice would you give to somebody, let's say a seller that's listing generic items, a seller that is selling branded items that they own the brand themselves, and then somebody that's reselling of a different brand? Is there any sort of top tips that you could give?
I think the top tip goes back to stocking. So ensure whether you're getting the stock outside of South Africa or in South Africa, generic or branded, ensure that it's always available for sale. We can do everything we can with putting up your listing, advertising, visibility, but out of stock means no sales. And it's important to understand that fulfilling is a process. It's a process to do that whole process of putting the labels, putting it in a box, it getting to Cape Town or to Joburg, and being timed in the way that we ensure your fulfillment never goes out of stock. So whether it's supplied in South Africa or outside of South Africa, generic or branded, always keep your stock on hand, always monitor your stock, even if you need to calculate weekly sales and to do sales cover. So you anticipate, okay, for my top seller, I know it sells 10 in a week. Keep 15 on hand. There are incentives for free storage and other aspects that Amazon is also doing to help you find your feet with fulfillment. So that is our advice as ZuwaZenith, and I'm sure ECommerce Counsel can agree.
Oh, you guys are playing so nicely together. At the end of every sentence, there's a compliment going to the other provider. It's a wonderful, very kumbaya moment. And I'm kind of getting the feel from the chat box, because there are those sort of questions that are talking about where to get your supply. So I'm definitely going to jump in here now and give you the sort of analogy, metaphor. I don't know, high school English was a long time ago, and our English curriculum has changed so much in South Africa. People are probably learning online from TikTok as opposed to actually going to class. So Amazon in and of itself, right? When you're going to amazon.co.za as a customer, we envision it, or we liken it to going into a mall, a big mall, right? Think of in the Western Cape, a Canal Walk, maybe Gateway. I used to live in Johannesburg. I can't remember what was there, but maybe let's say Eastgate Mall or Rand Gate Mall. Let me not embarrass myself here with my lack of knowledge, right? But we as Amazon, we are the store, right? And in our store, we've got all these little shops, and the shops are empty. You as the seller are coming to us saying, hey, I'm here to sell cell phones, my cell phones in the store, right? So in the same way that the owner of this big shopping mall wouldn't be able to assist you with suppliers, we aren't able to give you any suppliers or tell you who to reach out to, because that's not part of our scope. We are just here to help you and offer you the store and the space with the tools in order to sell your particular products, right? However, with that being said, you can potentially reach out to these different providers, and maybe you guys can answer with a simple yes, no, or it's something that we can take a look at to say, can you help me find suppliers? I want to sell generic cell phone cases, but I don't know where. I'm Googling and I'm scared that I'm going to Google the wrong place and then send money to someone in the world that's going to, take my money and run away to Barbados or whatever. Can you help point me in the right direction? Where do I find the stock? Where do I find this packaging? Where do I find somebody to do the printing, the labeling, and all of those things? These are potentially conversations that you can have with the providers, but not something that we have or take part in, because it just murkies the water, and that's not what the purpose is of Amazon globally selling. So let's revert back, because I think ECommerce Counsel answered the first time in the last question. So ZuwaZenith, is that something that you'd be able to give guidance on?
So not necessarily. So we don't necessarily advise and help sellers with finding suppliers, but as soon as the products are established and they're ready with their product images, we can assist from there.
Okay, perfect. ECommerce Counsel?
Similar really on assisting finding suppliers, but the one thing I know is that Alibaba is a good place to look. There are various versions of how you can sign up and utilize that platform. There's obviously a free version, and then if you pay additional fees, it really does help you in terms of sourcing products reliably, and there's insurance there that you can get your money back if you were scammed. And, it's a good place to start. I'm not saying it's the only place, but that's where I would look.
Fantastic.
And then finally, just in terms of locally sourced South African products, there's so many local websites and directories of local South African companies that are producing products here, which would be a great place to start your Amazon store on. And once you've learned how Amazon really works for you in South Africa, there's the potential to go international with those South African products. So that's a place that I would certainly start if you're still starting out and wondering what kind of business to sell.
Fantastic. And I'm so glad that you spoke, Cara, because I wanted to direct the next question to you before I tackle the reseller if I don't have a registered company one. If I am a brand owner, right, and now I want to sell on Amazon and I want to get my brand all set up or whatever, if I'm reaching out to you to ask you to help me with that, what is the sort of information that I should have or come prepared with? And what sort of best practices should I think of as the brand owner with setting up my brand before I even come to you? I'm
gonna let Mayon answer this in a little bit more detail, but we do we do encourage all participants of the call to if you would like our some strategy chats with us, to book that strategy call via the link that I gave you. I think I'm going to just paste it here again if I can find it. I'll find it again and paste it. But we will guide you from the very, very beginning all the way through the entire process. So it depends on how complicated it's going to be on Amazon. So Mayon's going to talk about brand registry and the documentation that needs to be submitted, etc., and all of the things that we can assist you with, but we will guide you from that. So Mayon, maybe you can tell them exactly what is needed.
Sure. So I would say get all your paperwork ready. You need your company registration documents. You need your trademark certificate if you have one. Your basic company details. You need an email address and a cell phone number that are not linked to Amazon in any way. In some instances, that means you get a virtual SIM on your phone with a new number that you use specifically for your registration, and then you create if any of your email addresses you're using are linked to Amazon in any way, just create a new email address. Once you have all that information, follow the process of what Amazon is asking. It can be laborious, it can take time, but I promise you it works. And you have to be patient as well. So yeah, come armed with all the paperwork that you possibly can.
100%, and thank you for touching on that, because it sort of does link to that question, and we're going to do that one, and then I'll sort of touch on the fulfillment one, and then I think we'll wrap it up for today. So okay, another last question came through, so maybe we'll see how we go by the time I've come through these last 3 questions. So with regards to being a reseller, if you don't have a registered company, you have the ability to be a reseller in a couple of manners, right? And there might be potentially in the future a brand registry and brand authorization webinar coming up, but we do have these tools and resources available for you in Seller University, as well as on our YouTube channel, where you can find out how to become an authorized reseller. So reaching out to the brand owner and having them add you to their brand registry profile, so you have that access to or that permission to sell the item, or alternatively with the submission of invoices that you've gotten from a manufacturer with the letterhead that shows that you've purchased these items in a legal manner. That obviously has the letterhead of the manufacturer, dated within 180 days. All of this information does exist on Seller Central, in our Seller University section, as well as in the help pages. So if you go to Seller University, that little search bar up on the top, you can literally pop something in there, or definitely go to our YouTube channel, because we do have some helpful guides there. In terms of the fulfillment of the order, you have 2 options, and I'll just touch on this very lightly. You can either utilize fulfillment by Amazon, where you inbound to our distribution centers, or you can choose to fulfill this item yourself. Whether you're going to do the whole journey from start to finish utilizing self-ship or easy ship is entirely separate to you. We do have help pages on this. There was recently also a walkthrough in terms of how to set up your easy ship distribution, and there should be also a fulfillment webinar on our YouTube channel, so definitely go and take a look there. And then the last question that came through was, I just registered and accepted, but for now I don't know what to sell yet. Does Amazon have a time frame to list the products? No. Everything that is happening on Amazon in terms of, well, everything that happens on your account is your responsibility, and you are the person that needs to action it in the speed in which you action it, right? So if you're going to register today but only list in 3 months, that's entirely up to you. And there could be mitigating factors, right? Maybe you don't have the barcodes, maybe you're waiting for the products, but we encourage you to sort of get going, because the sooner you get going, the sooner you can make money, right? In the same way that you are also responsible for the fulfillment of your item. So you say it's going to be going to our distribution center. You would then manage that process of setting up that inbounding appointment to the fulfillment center, or utilizing a service provider to assist you. If you're going to be shipping it yourself through merchant fulfillment, you're going to package it, you're going to print the label, you're going to make sure that the courier is coming to pick it up, you will handle customer service to a certain extent. So don't stress too much and feel like you are taking too long. Sometimes the process takes the amount of time it's going to take. Like Mayon was saying, it is rather laborious. We are aware of it, but these processes are in place not just to protect the customer at the end of the day, but also to protect you and ensure that everything is as transparent as it needs to be. So if something goes wrong, we're able to follow up, follow through, and give you the correct kind of guidance. If you have not yet filled in the survey for today's webinar, please do. We really appreciate that feedback. And I think we are going to call it there at time. Thank you very much, everybody, my wonderful providers, for coming through today. This was very engaging. I haven't seen a chat so busy in such a long time. So we'll definitely be doing another one of these kinds of webinars if this is something that you found was valuable. And if you didn't find it valuable, please tell us why, so that we're able to improve on it. We very take this seriously. We take this as seriously as we possibly can, right? Our team is here. They're always working on doing the improvements. If you joined a little bit late, don't stress. This webinar will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. And in fact, I'll go ahead and find that YouTube link and then paste it in the chat. We do also have all of the PDFs from today's presentation in the chat box as well. So other than that, thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day further, and I wish you all the best. Please stay safe over this long weekend, the 2 long weekends that we're having. It's a fantastic time if you're taking off from work to sort out your listings, to go out to Seller University and learn a little bit, because if not, why not? And if you have any challenges, please reach out to our seller support team. You can reach out to our Seller Success Center here in Cape Town for either a walk-in session or a virtual session. Please note we are closed on weekends as well as public holidays here at the Seller Success Center. But from me, Sasha, and our wonderful providers, wishing you a wonderful day further. Work hard, have fun, and make history. Take care and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.